All right, today we are talking about dramatic monologue. This term was covered in the literary forms videos, so if you haven't watched and taken notes on those yet, please go back and do so that you get the basic definition of dramatic monologue and you can see where it fits sort of within the world of poetry. So a dramatic monologue, again, is a special type of poem, and it focuses on a contrast between an implied meaning and a stated meaning. So it is sort of fun to try and figure out what the speaker is really saying in a dramatic monologue because there's always a double meaning. So I want you to go and read Mother to Son by Langston Hughes. You can find this online very easily. I want you to read it a few times and really get a good feeling for the poem. And I want you to listen to it. So on my YouTube channel, there is a link to a video, which is just an audio recording of the poem. When you're ready, come back here. All right. So in the poem Mother to Son, we have a unique advantage because the implied meaning and the stated meaning are in the form of an extended metaphor. So an extended metaphor lasts for many lines. In this case, it lasts for the entire poem. We are going to be using the terms tenor and vehicle. Tenor is the literal thing that is being compared, and the vehicle is what it is being compared to. So in this poem, the tenor is life. So the mother is talking to her son about life, but she uses the vehicle of a staircase. And it is not a pretty staircase. It is a staircase that has a lot wrong with it. But she is still going through life and she has overcome a lot of these obstacles and she wants her son to do the same thing. So as we're looking at this dramatic monologue, two things I keep talking about over and over again are the speaker and the audience. So first, I want you to focus in on the speaker. Obviously, it's a mother. It says so in the title, which is very advantageous for us. But if we don't know that it's a mother, how can we tell that it's a mother? How can we learn something about this woman? How do we know who she is? So go back. I want you to pause this video. I want you to go back and come up with an answer on your own. What do we know about the speaker's life? What has she been through? Who is she? Hopefully you came up with something like this. This is just a very short description. If yours is different, that's okay because poetry is open to interpretation. You may see her in a slightly different light, but this is just one description of the woman who is the speaker of the poem. So next we're going to move on to the audience. So who is she speaking to? She's not only speaking to her son, but she's also speaking sort of through this on to us, right? So we are also getting the message. We're also getting this life lesson from her. But let's focus in on what do we learn about the audience through her words. Take a moment to pause, go back, really think about it, and then hit play again. Okay, so we do know that this is her son. We don't know his age. We don't know at what point in life he is, but we do know that there's sort of an occasion for her to be telling him this. So maybe he's going through something difficult and she wants to offer some encouragement. All right, finally, really the deeper meaning, the meat of the poem. What is this speech, this dramatic monologue teaching us about, number one, life and about the personality of the speaker? So she is not coming right out and saying, I've had a really difficult life. These are the bad things that happened to me, and here's how I overcame them. She's using this beautiful metaphor, right? She's using that vehicle of the staircase to sort of hint at her son that it is like a staircase, right? Life is like climbing that staircase. You have to keep going. You have to turn the corners. You have to make those choices, make those decisions. And when, a small something, a splinter sticks you in the foot, you have to keep going. Or even if it's something larger, a board torn up, something really big that you have to hurdle over, that you need to keep going in life. So the next few slides, I'm just going to give you time to sort of read and ruminate. Obviously, you can just pause the video. So these are one interpretation. If your interpretation is different, again, that is fine. That's okay. But I want to make sure that you are along the same lines. So first, because this poem is so terse, meaning that there's like not a lot of language here for us to dig into, the lines and the phrases are really short. We want to look very closely at diction, at the author's word choice. Here we know it's colloquial diction because of the way the words are written. We can almost hear that Southern dialect when she is speaking. She's not speaking with what we would consider proper English, so we know that maybe she's a bit less educated, or she, sort of has that Southern way of speaking, a more casual way of speaking. So it's informal, it's colloquial, which means, regional, local. And the syntax as well. So those sentences are choppy, they're short. Nothing about this seems formal. This is not a formal speech or lesson. Okay. And again, I want you to really think about every piece of this metaphor because each individual item, the tack, the splinter, represents something in life. So think about the qualities of each item, right? The qualities of a tack. It's small, but if you step on one, you know how badly it hurts. It's difficult to get out, right? So think about the qualities of each individual item and what about life could it represent? Because Langston Hughes has really carefully chosen these images, and there's very strong imagery. Think about coming to a landing of a staircase, right? Sometimes you're just going up one flight of stairs, but sometimes you have a choice to make. Do you continue up to the right or up to the left, or do you go back down? So coming to a landing, right? That's a place for a decision to be made, a choice. You choose a different path in life. So think about all of these very carefully chosen images and what each one means, and then we can really begin to uncover the metaphor and what this woman has been through. Okay, additionally, we have some more detail here. She's really giving him advice, right? She's encouraging him to keep going. She doesn't want him to sit down on the steps, which means you're sort of giving up in life. She wants him to persevere. So she has clearly been through it. She knows what's at the top. She knows that life will throw these things at you, but that you can overcome them. She has that confidence about her, and she wants to pass that on to her son because apparently this is a time in his life where he needs this, right? He needs this speech, he needs this encouragement. Okay. If you would like more practice with dramatic monologue, you can see me for some more exercises in the Essential Literary Terms book, or I can, find other metaphors or other dramatic monologues for you to look at. We can do that together. But what's really important to know is that this is a really basic dramatic monologue. The implied meaning and the stated meaning are really beautifully crafted with this extended metaphor. But in future poems that we're going to be looking at, it's not necessarily so clear. So we really have to dig in. We have to look carefully at language, carefully at the hints that the poet is giving us to uncover who is the speaker here, who is their intended audience, and then what are we learning about both through the author's language. So those 3 steps that we took today, we're going to apply to each dramatic monologue that we read. Please let me know if you have any questions.